Installation of software tools. In this section, I will walk you through the step-by-step process of installing RDBMS. I know you're eager to jump into SQL and start exploring it. The good news is that all RDBMS platforms use SQL, so mastering SQL and database fundamentals is far more important than focusing on the specific software or tool you'll be using. There are many types of RDBMS available, and different organizations or projects choose them based on specific requirements, budgets, and features. In this course, I'll be using Microsoft SQL Server on Windows to teach you SQL. Having worked with many different RDBMS platforms, I've found SQL Server to be one of the easiest to understand and operate. This section will guide you through the complete step-by-step process of installing SQL Server on your Windows system. In this video, I will walk you through the following steps: downloading the original SQL Server setup safely, installation and configuration of SQL Server on Windows, installation of SSMS on Windows. Part 1. Download the original SQL Server setup on your system. To download the official Microsoft SQL Server setup, visit Microsoft's official SQL Server download page by going to this link. Then, scroll down the page until you find the Developer Edition option. It's usually located in the middle section of the page. Once you've located the Developer Edition, click on the Download Now button to start downloading the SQL Server setup file. Once the download is complete, you can locate the setup file in your computer's Downloads folder. Right-click on the downloaded setup file and select Run as Administrator from the options provided. This will ensure that the installation has the necessary permissions to configure SQL Server properly on your system. Part 2. Installation and configuration of SQL Server on Windows. Now, a pop-up window will appear asking for your permission to install SQL Server Express. Simply click Yes to proceed with the installation. This grants the setup the necessary permissions to begin installing SQL Server on your system. After granting permission to proceed, a window will appear with 3 different installation types. From these options, select Custom. This option allows you to configure and adjust the settings based on your specific needs and requirements during the installation process. Next, you'll be prompted to choose a folder where all the media files related to SQL Server Management Studio will be installed. Select the desired folder on your system where you want these files to be stored. After clicking the Install button, the setup will start the installation process, and a new window will open, which is the SQL Server Installation Center. In this window, click on Installation located in the left-hand sidebar. On the right side, click on New SQL Server Standalone Installation, or Add features to an existing installation. This option will guide you through setting up a new SQL Server installation, or adding features to an existing setup. After the updates are complete, the Install Rules window will appear. This window checks to ensure that all installation rules are passed. It's essential that all rules are passed for a successful installation. If any errors or failures are detected, you'll need to resolve them before proceeding. The type of error depends on your system settings. For example, on my system, I encountered a port-related issue that I had to fix before moving forward. If you're unable to resolve these issues on your own, feel free to reach out to me or post your issue in our Facebook community for help from other developers. Only after fixing all errors, click Next to continue. In the next step, a dialog box will appear asking for the installation type. Since you're performing a new installation, select the first option, Perform a new installation of SQL Server. Then click Next to proceed. In the Edition section, choose the option Specify a free edition and select the Developer option from the drop-down. Click Next to proceed. Now the license terms for installing SQL Server are displayed in the installation dialog box. Please read them carefully. If you agree with the terms, check the box to accept them and then click Next to continue. Uncheck the Azure extension for SQL Server option and then click Next to proceed. Then, in the Feature Selection window, select the feature Database Engine Services. Click Next to proceed to the next step. In this step, you will configure the instance for your SQL Server installation. You'll be presented with two options. Default Instance. This will automatically assign the default instance name. Named Instance. Here, you can manually enter a name for the instance. I chose the named instance option and manually entered SQL_Server for both the instance name and instance ID fields. After completing the instance configuration, click Next to move forward to the next step of the installation. In the Server Configuration section, you'll see an option called Grant Perform Volume Maintenance Task Privilege to SQL Server Database Engine Service. I'm going to keep this option checked, and here's why. This setting allows SQL Server to use something called Instant File Initialization, which helps the database create and grow data files much faster by skipping the time-consuming step of zeroing out empty space. Here are pros of going with this option: faster database creation, quicker recovery during restarts, better performance during auto-growth of data files. Here are cons of going with this option: slightly reduced security if someone gets access to deleted data. Doesn't apply to log files, only to data files. Click Next to proceed to the next step. In the Database Configuration section, choose the Windows Authentication Mode option. Then, start adding system users who should have access. This allows those users to connect to SSMS using their Windows credentials. Click Next to proceed to the next step. In the Ready to Install section, simply click the Install button and let the installer set up SQL Server on your system. It may take a while to complete, so be patient and avoid interrupting the process. Installation of Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Visit the official Microsoft website to download the genuine setup for SSMS. Once downloaded, you can begin the SSMS installation process. After downloading the SQL Server Management Studio setup file, navigate to your Downloads folder on Windows. Right-click on the SSMS setup file. Select Run as Administrator to start the installation process with the necessary permissions. Once you grant access to the installation setup, you will be prompted to choose the folder location where you want to install the SQL Server Management Studio files. Select your preferred folder location or go with the default option. Click the Install button. Now let the setup finish the installation. To save time, I'm showing this part in fast forward. After the setup is successfully completed, you should start SQL Server to test if everything is working correctly. As you can see here, I'm using my current Windows credentials to log into SSMS using Windows Authentication. You can log in the same way on your system. This brings us to the end of this lesson. See you in the next one.